Foam rolling is a routine for many people, but there are three key facts you should know.
Many people try rolling and then realize, wow, this hurts, and they end up feeling more tense than relaxed afterward. How can you roll in a way that lessens the pain and allows you to feel genuinely comfortable?
And that's exactly what we'll explain to you in this video. And to make sure you really know all the facts, you should, of course, stick around until the end.
Why is rolling good? It aids metabolism, contributes to relaxation, and it can also activate your fascia.
And why does rolling feel good now? What most people do it for is to boost their metabolism and activate the muscle tissue. We have a slightly different focus. We also want to activate the metabolism, but at the same time, we want to calm the muscle and aim for it to relax. You're in pain, tense, and want to roll it out now. What would we recommend to you? We recommend point number 1, roll in one direction, very slowly and with a lot of pressure.
And if you slowly roll with a lot of pressure in one direction, always towards the heart, in the direction of lymphatic and blood flow, then the body, due to its receptors
that are being pressed, switches things up quickly. Relaxation, and only if you roll slowly and with a lot of pressure do you even have a chance to get the metabolism and the fluid between the cells moving, because it's all extremely tiny, cell to cell, with minimal intercellular space.
If you roll over it quickly, I was told, it activates more. But the fluid between the cells and the fascia, which are supposed to be compressed, doesn't really shift much that way. Like a sponge, they don't get properly compressed. You really need a slow speed for that. Let's take a look now so you get a picture of it.
As an example, we'll now roll the calf.
So we'll start at the Achilles tendon, which usually needs it the most because when it's hardened and has a heat-related inflammation, the metabolism there is really good. And now we're rolling, and watch how slowly it happens, really, really gently moving towards the back of the knee. And now rolling this slowly, you also let something inside start to move.
And the receptors that trigger relaxation are being pressed for a little while before we move past the spot. And then they help the whole calf relax nicely.
The movement, as mentioned earlier, should be upward toward the heart, following the direction of venous return.
And when you do that, be sure to apply the appropriate amount of pressure. You could, for example, go ahead and place the other leg on top of that one. Then you'll have more load and can achieve an even greater effect. And this rolling is, of course, something completely different than that quick back and forth rolling. And I always say, when it comes to transporting liquid, imagine yourself in a room that's entirely filled with dust, and you stand right in the middle with a broom, sweeping from right to left, back and forth. Then you've got waste here and waste there. If you want to clean the room, and that's what we aim for in the interstitial tissue with the way we roll, you start at one end of the room and sweep all the way through to the other side, making sure everything is completely cleared. And if you sense there's still a bit of dirt remaining, you start over from the beginning again.
Then you would start again. Begin once more down here and roll all the way back up to the knee.
You've seen what I did with my interstitial fluid, handling it carefully step by step and methodically. First, I squeezed it out and it moved upwards. I always find this sponge example so great. It really helps illustrate the process. I first squeezed the sponge really tightly, pressing out all the water. And when I finally let go, the sponge could soak up water again, expanding back to its original size. And that's why proper nutrition is absolutely crucial. Just imagine this scenario. You're gearing up for a workout, and right before, you've just eaten fries with a schnitzel and mayonnaise. Then your cell fluid afterward is more like fries, schnitzel, and mayonnaise kind of situation happening there. And I truly believe almost no one wants that, which is exactly why nutrition plays such a vital role here. What's best is fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, fresh salads, nuts, and seeds. They're all essential for a healthy diet. Why fruit? Why? Fresh vegetables are fantastic. They're loaded with water and nutrients. And we do need fluid for our cellular fluid. That's what it's called. And it's naturally present in fruits, vegetables, and salads, which are excellent, essential, and vital sources of hydration. So when you're foam rolling, it's really helpful to eat well beforehand to properly fuel your body. And since you do it every day, you're an athlete after all, you'll be eating really well from now on, with plenty of fresh fruit, fresh veggies, salads, and of course, lentils and legumes to meet your protein requirements effectively.
Now, it's about which roller you should actually use. There are really no wrong rollers. There are only rollers that don't fulfill certain functions, and that could be replaced by better ones. For instance, there are rollers that are very demanding. If there are athletes who enjoy that, they can make use of them.
But most people don't like it that rough. And with our way of rolling, there's something very important to keep in mind. As we discussed, we need firm pressure, and it's crucial to press down firmly. And if we press too hard and the roller is too stiff, then it hurts too much. That's why it's best to choose a roller that has some give, at least on the surface, but then firms up properly, ensuring that sensitive bone areas don't stop you from applying enough pressure while rolling.
So does that mean, for example, no rollers with any kind of spikes or raised edges? You can still do that.
But what's out there, those raised edges, those spikes and so on, for me, in my opinion, they're just gimmicks that actually distract from the goal, which is that the roll should be conveying something. If I keep having these little elevations here and there, it just kind of jumps over the tissue, and the interstitial fluid can't flow smoothly in one consistent, uninterrupted direction. Move continuously without interruption.
That makes sense to me.
Yes, yes. So, and what I was just about to say, it's also good to have a kind of indentation here, especially when the spinous processes of the spine are sensitive or the shin tends to be quite tender. With jogger's shin, rolling is beneficial, but using a firm, flat roller makes it nearly impossible since you can't apply enough pressure effectively. The indentation effectively wraps around the bone, protecting it from pressure while precisely targeting the fascia and muscles that truly require the attention. Being pressed, it can grip quite effectively. A ball of approximately this size is also ideal for the buttocks. This is actually a special ball designed for the buttocks. As you know, the buttocks are very, very sensitive and often very tense for most people. And if you now go over it with a firm, hard roller with your buttocks, you just can't get into those little hollows, into those small curves to really work those fasciae well, as Petra had mentioned, because they function like a sponge. And a sponge gets compressed and releases its waste materials only when that indentation is fully filled out. Or even a smaller version. For the feet, for instance, you know how crucial the feet are, and you'll definitely need smaller diameters to effectively reach and work on those specific areas as well. Or if you want to roll here along the rib cage, or if you want to roll in this area where bones are sticking out, you'll definitely need something smaller and more precise. And ultimately also for the roll, it's a specialized tool. I would then go with this size, in your case, for the sole of the foot, for the fascia on the sole of the foot, for the plantar fascia. That's where the majority of waste tends to accumulate because gravity pushes it all downward. Using a firmer roller, one that's specifically designed for the foot, creates a truly unique and noticeably distinct rolling effect in every possible way. There are plenty of different perspectives and misunderstandings out there.
This part of the video is for everyone you know who uses a foam roller. They'll definitely find this information helpful and will thank you for it.